Hey developers, welcome to my channel. On my channel, I post videos about software development, cloud computing, productivity, and tips and tricks. So, if you are interested in this kind of videos, you can subscribe to my channel. That would help both of us grow. This is a series on AWS where I'll be making videos on various AWS topics that a solutions architect usually do in his day-to-day job. I'm using AWS for almost 2 years, and these days I'm preparing for the AWS Solutions Architect Associate exam. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can create an EC2 instance and connect to a Windows machine using remote desktop connection or RDC. So the first thing you want to do is to log into your AWS account, then create an EC2 instance. It's very simple, just follow me up. And for those who wants to see the walkthrough, just jump to this timestamp. Okay, so to work with EC2, we need to first understand what is EC2. So EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. Okay, and it's a virtual environment where we can rent a machine to run our applications on cloud without purchasing the actual machine. And Amazon refers to these virtual machines as instances. Scaling of our infrastructure up or down is easy based on the demand we face using EC2, right? And also AWS provides multiple configurations of CPU, memory, storage, etc. through which we can pick the right environment that's required for our application. Let's say someday you need a small application. For that you just need a small CPU, GPU, and a memory, right? And for that you will obviously go for a smaller machine. Let's say you are deploying a big application for your startup or whatever. For that case you'll be needing a bigger machine. So these are the situations that you might occur into to configure your AWS instances. And there are no limitation on AWS storage. We can pick storage based on the type of the instance that are we are working on. For example, someday you are like asking for like 20 GB of data that you need to host there on EC2, or might someday you might require like 50 GB of data to store. So these are the situations that you need to consider while working with EC2s. And then temporary storage volumes are also provided, which are called instance store volumes. So how this works is basically once we delete or terminate our instance, all the data stored inside this instance gets deleted fully. These instances can be placed at multiple locations, which are referred to as regions and availability zones. And I'll be calling it AZ, or generally we call it AZ. Okay, and then we can also have our instances distributed across multiple AZs. For example, within a single region, we can have multiple AZs, so that if any instance fails, AWS automatically remaps the address to another AZ. This is very useful for reliability for your application. And this is where the load balancer comes into the picture. So I'll get into that on another video, but you should know this. Also, instances deployed in one availability zone can also be migrated to another availability zone, which is AZ. Okay, let's say you are deploying an application on your Mumbai region, but then suddenly there's some issue that you're facing on Mumbai region. For that, you can also migrate that whole thing into another region that is like Ohio, or whatever region that you're comfortable with and your business suits that, right? And to also access and work with the created instance, we need to use key pairs that we get while creating an instance. So that is what is EC2 is all about. And now we'll be jumping into the actual walkthrough. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is to create an EC2 instance in which the Microsoft Windows Server 2019 base will run, and then we will connect that using RDC. So we will go to EC2 instance, and then I'll hit launch instance. Here I'll choose the Microsoft Windows Server 2019 base, and I'll use the T2 micro, which is the free tier basically. And then I'll hit configure next step, and the number of instances is 1, and I'll let the default settings be there, and I'll hit next add storage. and pay attention. You see this 30 GB. So this 30 GB basically the amount of size is which the C drive will have. And now we'll inside the Windows server that we are creating right now, and we'll hit add tags. Here I'll add a name tag basically that will help me to identify this particular instance, and I'll say it like EC2 with RDC, and I'll hit next. Here you see there's this security group name. I'll name it as an RDC, and I'll also change the description. So now we need to configure the network tab, and I'll add a new rule which is a HTTP, which is this one, and then I'll make it anywhere. So I can also make it my IP. I can also make this one, the RDP one, my IP. So if I hit my IP, this will take my IP, and then if I hit this one, so this will also take my IP, but I'll make it anywhere so that I can access this particular instance from anywhere in the world, right? And then I'll also add HTTPS, which is this one, and I'll make it anywhere, and then I'll hit review and launch. And now I'll just see if everything's okay or not, and to me it looks fine, I think. Yep. Storage, yep, 30 GB, yes. So this looks fine for me. And also notice one thing, that assign public IP IPv6, so these are automatically enabled by default, and they will give this IP to you automatically, right? So now I need to hit launch, and now I just need to create a new key pair. I'll make the key pair name as like RDC with EC2, or I can say it like EC2 with RDC, right? So this is what the name will be. And now I need to download the key pair, otherwise I'll not be able to launch the instance. See, if I click, it will not do anything. So the first thing, we need to download the key pair. Okay. And yep, the the EC2 with RDC pem.pem file is downloaded. Now I just need to launch the instance, and it will launch the instance. Yep, I think the launch is successful. It looks perfectly fine. Now I'll just go to the EC2 tab again, and here I'll see, if I go to the instance page, I'll see that there's this instance that I just created, right? The pending state. So this will start as soon as this one starts actually in the AWS server. And we'll just wait for a couple of seconds and wait for this. Okay, so the instance state is running. That means we have successfully created and run the instance. And if I select this one, we can see all the details that it has. For example, the public IP. You remember this public IP, right? 3.108.221.10, and this is the private address 172.3141.47. So then we need to connect this, right? And to connect this, we'll hit this connect button, right? And we will choose RDB client, and I'll download the remote desktop file. This will download this one, and you see this is downloaded. And now if I click this one, right, if I click this one, it will take me to this page, like the publisher, basically the remote desktop connection. And if I connect this one, it will try to connect that, but there's this password, right? How we can get this password? Because this is the password that we will need to connect with the instance. No, this is not our Windows password. This is not our machine's password. This is the password that we will use to connect with this instance. For that, we need to click on this get password. Okay, if I click on this get password, it will take me to this page, and here I need this EC2 with RDC pem that I just downloaded when I created the instance, right? So I'll just browse, and you see, so this is the RDC pem file. So I'll just open it over here, and I'll get this begin. So this is the RSA private key basically, and what I need to do is just click on the decrypt password, and it will give me the password, right? And I'll copy this password, and over here I'll just paste the password, and I'll hit OK, and this will connect. And now this is the warning that generally we get, and this is nothing to worry about. This error is saying that, like, due to the nature of the self-signed certificates, this warning is getting occurred. Nothing to worry about this, and we can hit yes, and this will connect with the machine that we are trying to connect. And this is connected basically, and this is like loading. And here we go, we just created an EC2 instance, and then spinned up a new Windows machine server, and we just connected with that. So it will just come up within a second, and I'll just wait for that. And this is how you can, you can also create an EC2 instance and then connect with a Windows machine, and using your remote desktop client, which is already present in our Windows machine, right? And there you go, the Windows servers is run. So this is how we can create and do this, and I hope you like the video. And we can just configure that, and yep, this is done. And this is the same thing, like just a normal Windows, but with the networking facilities that we actually generally need while using, like, uploading a project or running a project or doing whatever we need for that, right? So that's another topic. But you see that the public IP address over here, 3108, that we just talked about earlier, right? And this is the private IP address, and the instance size is T2 micro, availability zone AP South 1A, this is the Mumbai. And yep, the architecture 64-bit, total memory 1 GB. And if I go to the file manager or the file system, this PC, you see the total size is 30 GB. This is what I was talking about when creating the instance. This is a size we get, and this is it. And if I hit this cancel button, right? And by the way, let me know, like, do you guys need any detailed explanation, like what we can do actually and why we use Windows Server, right? But the general idea is that we use Windows Server to do the Linux the server administrative kind of work, right? But if you need the tutorial, or like how we actually do that, I'll definitely try to make a video. Please let me know in the comment section, right? And if I hit this close button, this will stop the connection, and this is closed. So this is how we actually create EC2 instance and connect with the Windows machine using RDC, remote desktop client, right? And hope you understood this, and please let me know if this video helped you is anyway. So again, if I go to EC2 instance, then instances, then if I click the running state, this one, this is the instance that I just created, and you see this is the public IP address, this is the instance ID, this is the private IP address, and this is how we actually do in AWS, right? Please let me know how was this walkthrough, and let me know what are the things that you want as a walkthrough. I'll definitely make that. And yep, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.